And a thank you for your rapt attention to what easily must be regarded, with all due respect to all of my other colleagues, as the best launch speech I have heard since I've been around. Before we get too far into what we have to do tonight, will the driver of X5962 please remove your vehicle? Number again. Jerome Walker? X5962. As usual, you are behind somebody. Can you please move? Speaking of Colin's presentation, when you compare the class that is the candidates of the Democratic Labour Party with what you have before you as a tired and worn out bunch, you really have to wonder, why must we go through an election to choose the obvious? A speech delivered by Colin that was absolute quality. It covered, it was punctilious. It covered all of the subject matter. And you see, that is one of the things you get when you are a Calypsonian, a performer, an artist, a poet like Colin. You can capture big subjects in very small capsules and then eruditely expatiate upon the Barbados. Now let me get down to business. I have come here tonight to speak about the political hypocrisy that is the Barbados Labour Party, particularly when it comes to the issue of cost of living. And you see them contorting themselves, even up to today. Never to be outdone. Mere Mortley sprang out. Wait, they call you to respond to that poll? The nation said they had their own scientific poll that Mortley was responding to. But nobody ever knew about this unscientific poll except the person that wrote it and the person who responded. And she, Miss Mortley, never to be outdone, sprang in to make a comment about expanding the list of 10 items identified by the economists like Maskell as the essential items that Barbadians need to use. The truth of the matter is, I don't pay Mortley any mind at all, because I know she is all talk. In fact, if I were being generous, as I often am, I would order a political chastity belt for her mouth to contain her tongue, because she made the comment that the Barbados Labour Party is going to attain its full attention at the upcoming cabinet meeting to the question of cost of living. Understand what she is saying? Or in Arthur, it's out of the country. And she read no sooner than he was on the plane to give the impression that she was going to do something about cost of living in Barbados. But I have a secret for you. They are solely responsible for this problem in Barbados. Right after the Gulf War, that is the second one, when George W. Bush invaded Iraq and the world economy supposedly went into recession, this government decided that it would invest in what they call counter-cyclical economic policy. You need to ask economists about that. Counter-cyclical. In other words, if it was was going this way, we would trade that way. So they introduced what the IMF calls expansionary fiscal policies. All that means is that the Barbados government decided that it was going to spend like hell in this economy. And you have seen the vestiges of it. The highway project, $160 million on plan for. The prison, $140 million as a result of Miss Martley. And could you imagine that we have had a commission of inquiry in Barbados on the prison, and nobody has called the Attorney General under whose watch the prison burned down. Wayne, even the permanent secretary has admitted that there were policy failures in the Attorney General's office, but she has not been called, and we will deal with that later. The airport project, and the biggest beast of all, Kensington Oval, the redeveloped Kensington Oval, more than $750 million of the taxpayers' money in wastage, floating that money in the economy. Ask Mascot, ask him, because when you put that amount of money in an economy without anything to do with it, you have this situation where you have too much money chasing after too few goods in the society, and therefore inflation results. But the government says it's not them. They blame everybody for the problem except themselves. Jack Kleinmaster, political pepper snapper, and say, he said, the problem with you all is that you like too much lunch. You eating too much lunch. You remember it? What he didn't understand, because I even have to ask him the question if he cooks at home. Because the point of the matter is this, that the reason why people were going to work buying lunch is because they couldn't afford to buy the food. So we were buying too much lunch.
Yeah, he too cheap and maybe.
I don't know where he eats and what he eats. But what I can tell you is this.
Maybe.
Oh, you work there? He eats in there often. Because you don't deny it. Don't forget that shortly before this high rise in the cost of living, this government went to Parliament and paid themselves a huge increase in salaries, $20,000 per minister per year. And Masker said, I am not taking it. I wonder what he's doing with it now. It's all done in his pocket. The Prime Minister said, I give him back mine. And when the Auditor General, the Accountant General said, if you give it back, you can end up having to pay higher taxes. The Prime Minister put it in an account. All of them kept the money. And not a fella in Barbados said a word about it. No wonder they were impervious to the rising cost of living, including Glenn Clark, the worst minister. If Glenn Clark could be a minister in Barbados, but it's true, he is the worst minister. And you imagine that the swap, Glenn Clark